The following podcast may not be suitable for listeners under the influence.
Hey, Troy Holden here, back with you for the VO Life. It is really good to be back. I'm going to make a new commitment that we are going to drop episodes every week for a while. They're going to be short. I want to give you something quick to listen to. It may just be a quick recap of the previous week, or if there's some news going on or some promotional things we need to talk about. But I'm going to commit that we're going to drop these on Friday. I can't say Friday morning, but I will get them dropped on Friday, so you'll have it for the weekend or whatever your listening pleasure is. Before we get into a little bit of a topic, let's talk One Voice Dallas, the One Voice Conference coming up August 8th through 11th. I will be presenting on Friday at 5:30. The topic that I'm covering is called Don't Do That. It is basically to talk a little bit about marketing and launching your marketing, as simply as possible. And then you can go buy a nice marketing program and really get after it. But I just want to help you get started. And, come visit, come see me. I would hate to be up in front of 3 people. I'd really like to fill the room and really, if I haven't met you, I would like to meet you if you're going to be there. So if you haven't gotten your ticket yet, it's onevoiceconference.com and just click on the USA Conference and you can see a huge lineup of speakers, some great speakers that are going to be there. There are some workshops you can pay for, but there is enough free content that it's definitely worth your trip, and I think you'll enjoy it. Now that we're talking about something like that, let me also know that soon I'll be posting in the group, probably over the weekend, that on June 27th, I'll be holding a workout or workshop. This workshop is the Pick a Card workout, and the reason I call it that is the drill down of the workout will be to help you get 2 different auditions, 2 different takes on your audition, and a quick way to do that. And it's really going to be fun. We'll do a couple of reads, at least 2 to 3 hours worth of stuff, 6 people. That's Thursday, June 27th, 7 Eastern, 6 Central. It is $50 per seat, only 6 people. If you're a beginner, come on in. If you're a novice, come on in. If you know what you're doing, come on in. Love to have you because you also may have something to contribute to the group, and people love learning. And again, I always say, if you're in there and you're not reading, pay attention because somebody's going to get a nugget and you'll miss it. And that is the most important thing in workouts and group things. Don't be turning your camera off and doing other stuff. Pay attention. You can turn your camera off, but pay attention to what's going on. And you'll have a lot of fun in this, and we're going to cover some really cool things. So today is kind of a life happens episode. It's kind of how you always run into things when you're trying to get your voiceover stuff going and something will happen. And I've talked to a lot of people lately who have booked a consult. And if you want to book a consult, you can do that. TroyHoldenVoices.com/store. Just like going to the store. I've got a free 15-minute on there, and I guarantee you we'll talk for more than 15 minutes. We always do. And happy to talk to people and meet people and find out what they're doing, where they're at in their journey, and what they're trying to learn. But one of the things I do learn often is life happens. It happens. Sometimes you think it's just you or just me, and something will go wrong or blow up. And we just finally had one come to light. Really a couple of things in the last few weeks. Our water bill was going nuts for a while, and then it settled back down, and then it went nuts again. And we found out we had one of those in the ground faucets, like some people call them a yard faucet or whatever. I don't know, frost free, whatever they are. We had one that apparently was leaking into the ground, so you didn't really notice it. And then maybe it quit for a month and the water bill went way down. And then it went back up again. And then the water people hung a thing on the door. Well, my wife, finally, she heard the thing because it's usually noisy in the barn. Horses in and out. We're stomping around trying to get stuff. Sometimes we got a fan on or a radio. But when it got quiet, you could hear that faucet leaking down in the ground. You could hear that quiet little hiss. So I had to dig that thing up yesterday and crawl down in there, lay on the ground, reach down in there and try to find the pipe and clean out around it. And once I got it out and now I'm letting it dry out and I've got to put a new faucet in there. And I hate that kind of stuff, but life happens, right? Also, my wife, bless her heart, she's been struggling with, some lower back stuff, and she just thought she was blaming it on everything. It's because I turned 50. It's menopause. It's this, it's that. And not to realize where she works in the hospital in the ER that she's constantly helping people move from the bed to the gurney to roll them to get a test and do this and that. And she's done this for 25 years. And over that course of time, I think, it's probably been hard on her back. And we finally got the MRI and all that, and she's got a couple of bulged discs and a cyst in the spinal canal. And there again, life happens, and we got to get that corrected. So we're going through that. And all of this stuff, and I say that, it all interferes with your workflow and it throws you off. I had to take 2 hours yesterday to go out there and dig that hole. Now, I kind of timed it up where I got my work done. I thought, all right, there's nothing going on right this instant, nothing in my inbox. I don't really see it. I don't have auditions. Let's go. And out I go. As soon as I got out there, I carried my phone, or I did not carry my phone. Sorry. I had my watch on, my Apple Watch. And I decided I'm going to take it off because I don't want to be distracted. And I did. I took it off and put it up on a shelf and got the hole dug, got that work done. And then when I was done, I told her, I'm going in. I'm going to go check my email real quick. If there's nothing major going on, I'll be back. I got stuck for about an hour. I had a couple things that needed to get done. And then I went back and we finished up outside, went and fed our catfish at the pond, which is always fun. And then we came in and had some chicken nuggets because there was no time to make anything else. We threw some of them in the air fryer and we sat down and watched Parks and Recreation so we could laugh because we needed to laugh. And that show cracks me up. And I had not watched it before. I think we're in about season 3, but Chris Pratt just cracks me up. But anyway, life happens, right? Dealing with a faucet. She's dealing with injury. I've got fencing to do between my neighbor and myself. I've been buying up the stuff because it's not cheap when you're fencing 1,200 feet. A lot of fence posts, a lot of electric wire, a lot of insulators to go on the post. I got to tear down the old fence first. And I haven't, and the neighbor knew we were going to do this. We talked about it a few years ago. And, he's like, well, I'll pay half, if you're going to do all this stuff. And I haven't went back to him and told him I've got the stuff and I'm going to start. And I need to do that this weekend, go talk to him. Another project, I've got an old part of my barn where I want to tear the outside walls off like I did on those other walls back in the fall last year. I've got 2 more I want to tear off. And these are going to be a little harder because they have an interior plank wall, and I got to do the interior and the exterior. So I'm like, holy smoke-a-roly, I got to do it all. And that's okay. I can, it's no big deal. But it's another project, and you think, how am I going to get all this done? Well, you know what? I used to do all this stuff when I had a real job. You'd take vacation days, and you'd work at home for a week, and then go back to work worn out. But a lot of this you can intertwine in your voiceover day. Fencing, I'll probably do mainly on the weekend, but the water faucet, I probably won't get to it today, and it may end up being a weekend thing. But to me, sometimes a weekend doesn't mean as much in this profession. I don't feel like the weekend is the weekend sometimes. It's just 2 more days because a lot of times people are asking for things over the weekend. And like that, there went a ding-ding. There's all kinds of stuff going on. And you have to draw those boundaries. Most people understand, but sometimes early on, you've got to deliver. And I get that. You have to deliver. And like I said, sometimes life happens. You can't deliver. You've got to let them know. But I get it if you're having to say, sometimes I have to do things on Saturday or Sunday. And sometimes we do. I'm to the point to where I'm not in here very long, if at all, on the weekend. I'm trying to carve that out for that's the time we should walk away and get away. And I get away more during the week than I used to. I know with us running to these doctor's appointments and all the stuff we've had to do and all these things going on, we have to take a horse to the vet this week. My wife had 2 doctor's appointments. And I think Thursday was the only day we had nothing. And I haven't had anything so far today, but she's back to work tonight. So it's just, here we go. We're back at it. But that's the way it works. Life happens. And you just have to work it in and weave it into your voiceover day and your voiceover life. The other thing I want to talk about really quickly is part-time voiceover. I'm not going to call it hobby voiceover because, dang it, it shouldn't be a quote-unquote hobby, right? If you treat it like a business, like it should be, no one should even know if you're part-time or not, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Your clients may figure some things out, or you may have to tell them, I'm not available during certain hours and da-da-da-da. I get that, and that's okay. But please, if you're coming into voiceover, come into it with the mindset of being a professional. Be professionally trained. Have a professional website. Put out a professional front. Deliver professional audio. And I know that's an overused word, professional is, but you know what I'm saying here. Build a business. Treat it like a business, high level. Don't treat it like a hobby. If it is a quote-unquote hobby, at least make it a professional hobby and do it the right way and don't muddy the water for other people. I run into it all the time where somebody, doesn't understand, why is it costing me so much just for this? And once you explain it to them, I think they understand it a little better. And gosh, folks, train, learn, do everything you're supposed to do to build a professional business. And we'll not say that word anymore, hopefully. But I want to say with all that, it's okay to do this part-time. There's nothing wrong with being a part-time voice actor. Sometimes I look back at it and think, I may have been better off had I done that, had I kept my other job, but I just couldn't have. I was stressed out. But I also think here lately with the hours, if I logged it during the week, I don't think I work 40 hours a week very often. Maybe closer to 25 or 30. And I don't say that to brag or boast. I say that because I'm more productive than I used to be. I'm more targeted than I used to be. And I don't waste time on things that aren't going to help my business anymore. Back in the day, I had to work those 40 plus hours because I was developing my brand, developing my website, trying to make that better, trying to get better demos, trying to make more money to pay for this, pay for that, pay for this. That's what you have to do. You have to hustle. And as it gets better and you can automate some things, or maybe you get help with some things, then that time factor slows back down and you open up windows. And that I'm very appreciative of at this point in my career. Now, I have a milestone coming up next month that I started this journey in July of 2020. And 2020, I had to think for a second. That was when I initially started trying to get into voiceover. That was when I had started working with a coach. I had built my first hobo fort, and all that was coming in July and August. And then in September is when I actually went out and tried to book. And then right by the end of that year, stupid me was on voices.com. But I was in workshops and coaching. So I did start booking pretty quick. All of these journeys and these paths that we all have taken are different. And I don't know that anyone could replicate what I did again. Things have changed. The game has changed. The players have somewhat changed because a lot of new players came in the last 3 to 4 years. Fortunately, I've been lucky to have targeted a niche and have been able to make it work. And I say this all the time. I'm not getting rich. I'm not cranking out six figures. I'm not making mid six figures by a long shot, but I'm making a pretty good living working 25 hours a week. So I'm not trying to discourage or overly encourage, jump on in here. You can do this too. And I'm not trying to say, man, it's awfully hard. I don't know if you can do it or not. But and thanks JMC for naming me Mr. No BS, because that's what this is right here. There's no BS. If you love this and want to try it, gosh sakes, go try it. But try it the right way or you're going to be highly disappointed. And if you are in it just for the money, because you hear all these people saying or see this crap posted that you can make all this money so fast, don't believe it. Anybody worth their salt will tell you this is at least a 3-year learning thing. And then there's still more time involved for you to solidify and become known and become a top person or somebody that, is booking. There's a lot of people's been doing this 2, 3, 4 years. They're not booking a whole lot, but they're taking a lot of classes or doing a lot of stuff, and they're going to turn the corner, and it'll happen. And, I've noticed in the last 2 months for me, things have really, really changed. Like the average price of a job I'm booking is way more than it was a year ago. I've booked a lot of stuff up in the thousands for that one job, where most of my stuff were in the lower hundreds, 150, 300, 250. And I'm seeing a lot of stuff now that's either, 750, 1200, 1500. I'm negotiating one right now that's 3,500. And will I get it? I don't know. It was in my wheelhouse, in my niche, and I think I got a good shot, and we'll see. But what I'm getting at is you'll get to a point to where the work is better, but you don't have to do as much. But you also want to have that base of business down there, those customers, those clients that are yours, that come back over and over and over, whether it's every week, every month, 3 times a year, 5 times a year, whatever it is. You've locked them in, you take care of them. They know you're their guy, and they're coming back until they don't, because that happens too. And then sometimes they leave and come back. But I say all that to say this. If you want to do this, do it. Do it professionally. Do it the right way. And remember, life's going to happen, and you're going to have to trip, stop, back up, punt, do whatever you got to do to clean up, regroup, and go again. And I've had to do it too. Things happen all the time. I always dread sometimes vacation, because I'm like, gosh, I hope this don't crap out and that don't crap out, and that, but your good clients, your current clients, your base clients, they understand. And if you let them know ahead of time, they're fine with it. No problem. Talk to you next Monday. The stuff that comes in on the fly, and you're going to miss auditions, but what you have to do is just say, look, this is for me. This is my mental well-being, personal well-being trip, and I'm leaving, and I'm not dealing with that stuff. And you'll enjoy your vacation more, and you'll feel better when you get back. So, take all that stuff that life happens and take your time and get away. Sometimes you have to walk away and get away during the day or during the week. By golly, do it. I am doing somewhat better with moving. I'm on the treadmill at least twice a day, even if it's just 10 minutes. And I cannot believe after this week how much better I feel. And I've started on, I know you've seen these on Facebook, they have these older guys that have they really look great, and they're doing all their exercise sitting in a chair, like a kitchen chair, a hardwood chair. Well, I'm going to tell you, those work. And I'm using those to help my flexibility and to strengthen my core a little bit. And between that and the walking to try to get the cardio going again, just a few days of it, I feel so much better. And I've got to keep the focus on that, because moving is my detriment, because ever since I've been home and doing voiceover for the last 2.5 years now, golly, I can't believe 2.5 years. I have picked up about 25 pounds maybe. And I'm not moving. And that's why I'm still getting some of my farm stuff done, but I notice when I do it, I'm like worn out after a couple hours. And that's not me. I used to be, get up at 6 and go till dark, and dark is 8 o'clock. That's 14 hours. It didn't bother me to be outside and going for that. I don't know that I'll get back to that, but I just want to feel better. Okay, a couple of more reminders. Here we go one more time. OneVoiceConference.com. Would love to see you in Dallas. We'll be doing the Pick a Card workshop where we'll talk about defining the difference in take one and take two and how you can do that quickly and identify that quickly and really make them sound different. It's just a thing I use called Pick a Card, and that's what we'll do. That's June 27th. That is 7 Eastern, 6 Central. And you should be able to book that on my site, TroyHoldenVoices.com/store, STORE. I should have that up pretty quick. Just click on the link there that takes you to Calendly, and you'll see the link in Calendly to book it. And that makes it nice and simple, and you can pay by PayPal. Makes it really easy. $50 a seat, and I promise you'll get your money's worth. And I also will tell you this, and I told my last group that I had a couple of weeks ago, if you come out of that and you're not happy with it, please send me an email and say, that was a waste of 2 hours, and I'll send you your money back, and I'll send you a coffee mug to boot. Because I don't want anybody coming out of a workshop feeling like they didn't get anything out of it. Now, nobody's ever come back to me on anything and said that. And again, I'd love to have you there. And again, if you didn't like it, didn't work for you, you let me know. I'll send you your money back. And like I said, and a coffee cup. But you may not want the coffee cup because that'll remind you it was a bad workshop. Well, whichever. Anyway. Hey, thanks for dropping in again. And I'm sorry this was a little bit of rambling, but I am excited to get back in the groove of doing something on Fridays. And like I said, it may be a 10-minute thing of some hints or something we know that's going on. But I appreciate you guys hanging with us. We are closing in on episode 150 before too long. I can't believe it. And I know we're well over 50 on another VO podcast as well. Thanks for joining us in both places, as I hope you are. Have a great one, and I'll see you next week.
Hey, it's Alicia Bake from VO Booth Besties, and you're listening to the VO Life with Troy Holden.